Ancient Egypt. An empire of sand and stone, whose pharaohs ruled as gods. But among the names we all know, I'm on a quest to rediscover the powerful female pharaohs, whose accomplishments were almost erased from history. Queen Hatshepsut. She transformed her empire with a massive construction boom and soaring monuments, then was literally overwritten in history by the stepson who succeeded her.
Even her name erased it from the temple.
Then, I began a search for the lost remains of the legendary Queen Nefertiti, which led me to the sprawling halls of the Egyptian Museum and a meeting with Egyptologist Dr. Aidan Dodson.
So, mystery number one, why does everybody know the name Nefertiti?
It's partly because of her physical beauty. A sculptured head of hers was found in the beginning of the 20th century and is now in Berlin.
In 1912, archaeologists unearthed a stunning bust of Nefertiti that catapulted her to fame as the poster girl for ancient Egypt. Another bust of hers sits here in the Egyptian Museum. But while she's famous today for her beauty, she was a central figure during Egypt's most tumultuous age.
She lived at a time when pretty well everything about Egypt was thrown into the air.
Her origins are murky, but she was likely born within a military family closely linked to royalty around 1360 BC.
Now, she's married to this guy.
Indeed, this is Akhenaten, who fundamentally changed the religion of Egypt.
The pharaoh Akhenaten stunned his country by instituting the worship of a single sun god, known as Aten, demoting the old gods of Egypt. It was a decision that brought his empire to the brink of revolt, but it wasn't his only shocking move.
During his 16th year of reign, Akhenaten appointed his wife Nefertiti as co-king.
Nefertiti becomes a pharaoh and is depicted as wielding incredible power, commanding a royal chariot and smiting Egypt's enemies. She mothers 6 daughters with Akhenaten, and it is believed that after his death, she continues to rule, rolling back some of his harsh religious reforms to appease her people. But shortly after, Nefertiti disappears from history, replaced by the new pharaoh, Akhenaten's son, King Tut.
And so what ultimately do you think happened to her body?
That's one of the great mysteries.
And it's the mystery that I'm here to help solve. In 1898, a mummy was found in the Valley of the Kings and nicknamed the Younger Lady. Several years ago, a DNA test found her to be the mother of the legendary King Tut.
And here she is.
Wow, extraordinary.
The pharaoh Akhenaten was the father of King Tut. The mummy of the so-called Younger Lady is now proven to be the mother of King Tut. Since Nefertiti was the great royal wife of Akhenaten, she's obviously a strong contender for the identity of this mummy. But Akhenaten also had a lesser wife named Kia. Egyptian royal families were highly inbred. Genetic tests done on King Tut in 2010 indicate that he's either the son of a brother and sister pairing or the offspring of 3 generations of first cousins. And while neither Nefertiti nor Kia was Akhenaten's sister, it is entirely possible that Nefertiti fits the first cousin model. Along with the genetics, the condition of the mummy may also offer an important clue.
Part of the upper jaw is missing, and then there's this really strange hole in the head. What do we think these are from?
Okay, starting off with the hole in the head, that's probably caused by the tomb robbers. The face is rather different. It was concluded that possibly the damage to the face was around the time of death.
Meaning that this woman died violently.
Yes.
Would that fit into the narrative of Nefertiti?
Well, certainly the way that she suddenly disappears from history and the fact she is then denied a kingly burial would certainly be consistent with her reign being ended suddenly and violently.
Now, to learn if this is in fact Nefertiti, we're about to conduct an historic experiment. We plan to capture a 3D image of the mummy's head and use it to reconstruct her face. If the results resemble famous ancient depictions of Nefertiti, we may have made a positive ID. To create the image, we'll need exclusive access to the mummy, and after months of negotiations,
What do you give the chances of this right now?
50-50.
and a nerve-wracking wait,
I think this might actually happen.
the protective case around the younger lady is removed for the first time in years. Now that the glass has been lifted, we're literally face to face with the mummy.
Oh, unbelievable.
Yeah, I can see her properly for the first time.
It is really something.
It is. It's a bit sort of gives you the butterflies slightly.
It does. Well, let's see if we can figure out who she is.
Absolutely, yeah.
You ready?
Let's go.
Okay. This is known as an Artex spider, and this is a very advanced piece of 3D imaging kit. This thing will take hundreds and hundreds of images, and it is accurate well under millimeter accuracy. So this will be able to give us a full 3D image of the mummy's head, which can then be used as the basis for a forensic reconstruction.
We fire up the imaging equipment, and soon we're ready to get started.
Okay, Aiden, so you're just gonna tap record there.
Okie dokie.
And away we go.
I carefully hover over the mummy and begin working.
So the idea here is to really just paint the mummy with light.
The device captures 8 frames every second. The computer stitches them together, and before our eyes, we see a digital version of the mummy take shape.
We're getting data. It's looking good.
Look at that.
See, yeah. And we've got her ear. We've even got the piercings in her ears. It's brilliant stuff.
That is incredible.
For the Egyptian, you were never dead if your name survived.
Right.
If we can confirm this is indeed Nefertiti, we're doing her a great service in the afterlife.
She'll live forever.
It appears that we've got what we came for. Time to wrap this mummy up.
Okay, so data is collected. Let's stop the recording, and data looks good. This is the first in a long line of steps to create a reconstruction, but getting this raw data, that's the most important part. Thanks, Aiden.
I leave the museum with a very real chance of resurrecting the mummy of the younger lady, and possibly being able to look into the eyes of Nefertiti. The next step is to take the data to a state-of-the-art 3D printing facility, which lays down hundreds of micro-thin layers of resin to produce a perfect duplicate of the mummy's head. Once that's done, the results will be sent to world-class facial reconstruction artist Elizabeth Dainez. She'll spend the next month in her studio, meticulously layering muscle and skin onto the 3D model to see the true face of the mummy. The results will take time, but I'm not finished exploring the mysteries of ancient Egypt's most powerful women, including one who has been a historic icon since long before she died. I'm moving on to the search for the tomb of the Queen of the Nile herself, Cleopatra. She's probably the most famous woman of the ancient world, reigning over Egypt for more than 20 years. Her life and death is the stuff of Shakespearean drama and Hollywood legend. But there's a lot more to Cleopatra than Liz Taylor's heavy eyeliner. Despite her historic life and her infamous death by suicide, her burial has never been found. If it were, it could contain a tomb with riches more glittering than those of King Tut. To find it, I'm traveling to the capital of Cleopatra's empire. Alexandria, Egypt's Mediterranean jewel. Named for the first foreign conqueror of Egypt, Alexander the Great. Unlike the dusty desert cities to the south, Alexandria is the gateway to the Nile, with its great harbor as vital now as in ancient days, and priceless ruins like the only Roman amphitheater in Egypt. When Alexander the Great conquered Egypt and brought it under Greek control, he left a general in charge, a guy named Ptolemy I. He founded a dynasty that ruled for the next 300 years. Cleopatra was the last of the Ptolemies and the most beloved, because even though she was Greek, she embraced an Egyptian identity. She was a queen at 17, spoke 9 languages, was a skilled diplomat, and had children by 2 of Rome's greatest generals, Julius Caesar, and after Caesar was assassinated in 44 BC, Mark Antony. But Cleopatra ruled at a troubled time. A time when Rome wanted to turn all of Egypt into a Roman colony. And when Mark Antony lost his bid to become the next emperor, he retreated to Alexandria, where he and Cleopatra killed themselves in 30 BC. It was a tragic ending, and yet she remains one of history's most iconic superstars. And yet the location of her burial is a complete mystery. To track down her final resting place, I'm meeting with Dr. Mohammed Syed, an archaeologist with the Egyptian Ministry of Antiquities and an expert on this ancient city. So I'm interested in the mystery of the tomb of Cleopatra. It's never been found.
Never been found, yeah.
But the ancient sources say what? They say that she killed herself where?
She, normally near her palace.
In their accounts of Cleopatra's death, the ancient historians Strabo and Plutarch wrote that she collected her riches in her tomb. She then joined her treasure inside and closed the doors. The tomb's location is unknown, but many assume it's near her palace. So where was her palace?
Cleopatra's palace was on an island in the middle of the harbor.
The island of Antirodos was the Bel Air of Alexandria, the most luxurious place and the most luxurious city of its age. Today, not so much. So I can't help but notice that looking across the way, I don't see any royal palaces, I don't see an island, I don't see Cleopatra's palace, I see modern buildings.
Yeah.
So where is all of it? Where?
Actually, they are right there,
Where?
under the water.
They're underwater. Mohammed leads me down to the docks and a waiting dive boat. His plan? To take me under the surface for a look at a one-of-a-kind excavation. It doesn't take long to arrive at our dive site in the outer harbor, where we're hoping the water is clear. We don scuba gear and get ready to dive into the past.